All right, what's up, everybody? We are here for season number 2, and this is episode 1. And man, I can't tell you how excited I am about this. Pastor Ace and I have been talking about people that we have got to get on the pod, and you have not wanted to get on the podcast. I don't know if y'all can tell how nervous she is, but Pastor Ace and I know like there's so much value to her story, and we just wanted to sit down and give the people what they want. We want to give the people what they want. So my name's Carlos. I'm one of the hosts here of Until Midland Loves Jesus podcast. And today the special guest is none other than my beautiful, wonderful mother of my children, my wife, my spouse, my partner, my best friend, Adriana. So come on, y'all. Y'all thank her down below in the comments for being here. Babe, I know this is not your cup of tea.
Nope, it's not.
We're going to see how many times you laugh in this pod. Somebody keep a counter in the comments.
Awkward laugh.
Awkward laugh count down in the comments below. But seriously, babe, people, you're not the type to get in the mic, to get on stage, to want to be the face of things. And so what people don't see, though, is all the things that you do for our church, for our family, obviously. And we're going to get into all of that today. And so keep the awkward count down low.
Okay.
I'm going to help guide this conversation.
No promises.
And it's going to be fun. I'm excited that you're here. I love you. I'm proud of you. And so
You owe me.
we're going to rewind quite a bit. Okay. And so who knows, this might be a 2-hour podcast. If we need part 1 and part 2, Ace will chop it up.
Okay.
So tell us your view in today's politics. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. People want to, obviously, being the pastors of the church, they hear a little more of my perspective. And today I just want them to hear your perspective, your background, your story. Okay. Because over and over, people have heard kind of where I'm from, how I got to this point. But people don't. You're pretty ambiguous. Like you're like a mystery woman, and
I'm not.
And so that's why we're on here, and we think we're using you for views. No, I'm joking. People,
It feels like it. Honestly, it feels like it.
No, people really care about your story and want to know, and so I've always said you have so much to offer, and I've always pushed you to put forward. And so today, I hope that women today just get empowered, encouraged, and blessed by your story today. So, all right, just talk about. Let's start from your childhood, okay? Where are you from? Brothers and sisters, mom and dad. Like, let's start there.
Okay.
Where'd you grow up?
Here in town, here in Midland, born and raised. I'm the youngest of 4. Oldest brother, 2 older sisters, and then me.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to. I'm telling you guys, she doesn't like to talk, so we're gonna have to pull words out of her.
Especially about myself, it's just weird.
Yeah. Talk a little louder too to make sure you're in the mic. Okay. But all right, you got an older brother, and then 2 older sisters,
right.
And you're the baby.
Yes.
Where'd you grow up? You said here in Midland.
Here in Midland.
Where at? Like, just tell people of your childhood. Like, what was growing up like here in Midland for you?
It was pretty. I don't know. Midland wasn't as big as it is now, obviously.
Right. What was your family life like?
Family life. Really just kind of hang out with the neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
Go to school.
Yeah.
I didn't play any extracurricular sports or anything like that. It was a lot of just home life.
Yeah.
Parents are Spanish speaking only, so I think that had a lot to do with it. They didn't know.
Yeah.
And I did play sports in middle school.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah, because your mom and dad are from Ojinaga, Mexico. So you and your siblings are first generation born here in America.
Right.
And so your parents learned a lot. Your parents.
Right, they were learning
as life was happening. And so dad, what kind of work was?
Oil field.
Yeah, oil field.
From the beginning. I mean, as long as I can remember.
Okay. And to
And
this
to
day,
this day, yeah.
my father-in-law is still cooking out in the oil field.
Yes.
He's a boss man now, though.
Yeah.
And so, and then mom
Stay-at-home mom.
for like,
Yeah. She would go do like um, jobs, like side jobs with my aunts instead of cleaning houses here and there. But
okay,
that's all. For the
okay,
most part, stay at home.
yeah. So you're growing up in Midland, a baby of 4. That's a whole nother because y'all's age gap is pretty significant.
Right.
How old is Adrian, your oldest brother?
I, he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
Probably like, I don't know. I'd be lying if I told you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
47 maybe?
maybe like 47-ish.
Yeah.
And you're still young enough. You could tell the people how old you are. You're
I'm 32.
32, turning 33 in
October.
and yeah, no, like a few weeks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a few weeks. I didn't forget.
Uh-huh.
October 16th. uh,
So the closest age gap. So Claude is the sister right before me, and our age gap is 8 years. So that would put into
Oh, wow.
perspective how
yeah, so growing
far
up with
apart.
siblings, it wasn't like y'all were like
we were never in school
we weren't
together.
playing dolls together.
Right. I was probably the annoying little sister.
Wonderful family. I mean, your siblings, close knit family. Y'all grew up
Right.
still close knit. Everybody, for the most part, is still really close knit. Everybody's still in Midland.
Yeah.
Tell us, growing up, first generation. How were you raised? Like, what kind of household? Dad's was out in the oil field. Mom was the one caring for, like, a pretty, I guess some would say, like, an old school view of home, right? Dad was
Right.
working all the time. Mom's at home.
Yeah.
How did that shape you as a child? Like, do you remember Dad still being present?
Like he was when I was really young. At that time, the type of job he did, he'd have to travel a lot.
Okay.
So he would go for probably days at a time, maybe New Mexico area.
Where he wouldn't come home
Right.
because of work.
Right. But that was, I mean, I was little.
Yeah.
Because I remember he'd always bring back dolls home for us. That was like his
Yeah.
souvenir. But as I grew, I mean, he was home, but of course gone by 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Home at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So.
And then being a baby, by the time you were growing up, like, mom and dad were pretty established. Like, you had a pretty good childhood. Like, you never went without. Is that fair?
I probably didn't have like the things that my friends had, like
Okay.
electronic, like Nintendo Switches
Yeah.
or whatever was in
Nintendo
back
DS
then.
was
whatever.
a Game Boy. You didn't have a Game Boy
You
Color?
made fun of me because I told you about the iPod I had whenever I did.
Oh
have
yeah, I
one.
flamed her for that. That was hilarious. She didn't have an iPod with the screen on. She had the Nano.
Privilege.
I was privileged.
But
I love. This is gonna be fun. But you didn't go without. Like,
Right.
Dad always
Right.
provided for you guys.
100%.
He always made sure y'all were clothed and
Right.
housed.
100%.
Like, I mean, taken care of. So
I mean, I had a good childhood.
yeah. So going up into your teenage years, now obviously your worldview is getting bigger. You're a teenager. By the time you're a teenager, that means Claude was graduating.
Probably.
Vicky had already graduated.
Yeah.
Adrian already graduated.
Yeah. And I would say I was probably the most privileged out of all my siblings because by then, older siblings were telling mom like about the new stuff, and I just got to experience a lot more than they did probably.
Yeah. And so growing up as a teenager, again, pretty normal. Like, nothing out of normal. Still here
Yeah.
in Midland.
Right.
The way of life for you guys was Dad's working and Mom's taking care of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And were you at this point, were you still, or were you the only kid living in the home? Do you remember? Because by this
My
time,
sisters were probably. Claude was probably
Vicky was out of the house.
by the time I was a teenager, maybe. Yes.
Okay. Because she had Sammy,
Yeah.
your niece,
Yeah.
at a young age, and
Right.
and so she was, she
And my
was
brother by
off
then
doing,
had his
and yeah,
son, yeah.
Adrian was gone.
Yeah.
Claudia, but you don't remember.
I'm thinking if someone lived there, it was probably Claude.
Okay.
Yeah.
teenage life pretty normal?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now this is where your story. Let's get into high school because we have to get into this only for the simple fact, like being pastors, people perceive
Right.
us a certain way,
Right.
and they don't realize, like, hey, we have stories too, we have pasts too, we have things good and bad that we
Right.
walk through. We have things that we love about our young age days, and then things that we regret and things we wish we could
Right.
take back. And so I want to get in at this time. Let's shift gears a little bit. You didn't grow up going to church.
Right.
Tell
Typical Hispanic household, Catholic, um, visits
visits. Okay,
here and there.
it wasn't consistent.
No, I mean, I had a quinceañera, so we just naturally went to church to get our like first communion and everything you need to.
Were you baptized Catholic?
Yes.
I don't know if I knew that. I think I did know that.
Yes.
So you were baptized baby as a Catholic, but church wasn't a part of y'all's lives.
Not an everyday.
It wasn't a
No.
priority in the family.
No youth group. No.
No youth group.
Yeah.
Did you have friends that went to church?
I did. I think I remember going to a youth night at harvest time
Okay.
once, maybe,
Yeah.
but not consistently.
Okay. So you're in high school. You're you're not into sports or anything. Are you working? Did you start working in high school?
No.
You were the baby. You were taken care of.
Spoiled, yeah.
Okay, you were spoiled. And you graduated from Lee.
Actually, I did work
Don't lie
in
to the
high
people
school.
on camera.
I worked at Justice in the mall for a little bit.
Dang, had the bedazzled jeans.
I didn't probably.
Cool.
And
Okay.
I got my first paycheck and I quit because it was like $60, I think.
All right. So up until this point, I mean, for the most part, pretty normal,
Yeah.
quote unquote, childhood. You graduate from high school. In high school, you started forming, like, I mean, every kid does, like, all right, I got to start deciding what I'm going to do with my life.
Right.
All you've ever seen was dad work. Mom didn't work. She took care of the home. Did a phenomenal job.
Right.
Shout out to my in-laws. They're incredible. And so in high school, did you start forming, like, what it is that you wanted to do with your life?
I don't think I was ever sure. I think at one point I was like, oh, maybe I should do hair. I always thought about working for a law firm. But I was never 100% sure.
Okay. I'm texting our Pastor Ace because our son's playing basketball out there, and it's really, really loud. So you weren't sure. By this time, Vicky was in school.
Vicky was probably already, I mean, she was a hairstylist at one point.
Okay.
Went back to school to get like a nursing certificate.
That's right.
I don't.
Adrian was already in the oil. Was he went straight to the oil
he's
field?
been, yeah.
And then Claude was in school or out of school, possibly
She
by
was
this
a
time.
nurse already, probably
So,
by that
so
time.
that never shaped, like, I want to be a nurse too.
No. No.
No.
No.
But you weren't sure.
I wasn't sure, yeah.
Yeah. So all right, now we graduate from high school. Church is not a part of your life. Still having a good home. I mean, probably we know, coming out of high school, did you go to school?
No. So I moved to Dallas because I was going to go to school for about
Right
a
after
year.
high school?
Yeah.
With Claude?
Yes, my sister Claudia.
Where'd y'all move to?
We're like in the uptown Dallas area.
Okay.
And
Why Dallas? Why'd y'all move
I
there?
don't know. I think we were just like,
Let's get the heck out of here.
yeah. Again, Midland was not big at that point. It was very small, same people. There was no growth really. And so we just were like, let's get up and go.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a plan, moved to Dallas, and I was like, I'll probably go to cosmetology school.
Okay.
And I never did. I actually started working for Chase Bank.
Okay.
And we lasted there about a year maybe, and then we
Yeah.
were like,
I want to not go through that too fast. I don't know if I know this answer. How did my in-laws take?
They were so sad. Everybody, Vicky was depressed. My parents were depressed. Uh, it was hard
Yeah,
because we were so close,
yeah,
and
yeah. And at
none
this
of
time,
us.
Claude had
Bud,
nephew Bud.
yeah, and he was
He's in the
little
picture. A he
baby.
was
I
a
mean,
baby.
he was in elementary, so I would take him and pick him up from school.
Okay.
Um, we would joke and we would say Claude was a dad and I was a mom because I worked a part-time job and she kind of paid
For
bills, and
providing.
then
Yeah.
I helped with Bud at home, homework and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Um, I don't think I ever asked you that
Yeah,
question. So they were bummed. They were
they were
sad.
sad.
Um, y'all get to Dallas. You start working at Chase Bank. I mean, living in the Metroplex. It definitely isn't what it is today, but it was still so much bigger
Oh
than
yeah,
Midland. Did you feel at that time you're 19,
probably
18
18,
still,
19.
18,
Yeah,
19? Do you feel like the world just opened up to you?
kind of. Don't have parents telling you what to do anymore.
Yeah,
Um, it was kind of like I'm an adult. I
yeah,
can do what I want. I
yeah,
got a job, and so yeah,
yeah. And just to be vulnerable and even open with the people with your story, all joking aside, like because you were a younger sibling, you got introduced to parties, you got introduced to
right.
alcohol. Like this
And
stuff
not through
was
my siblings, but just through friends.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And so you're getting introduced to this world, and so moving to Dallas, it just amplified that.
yeah.
But you were also really like y'all didn't know anybody.
We had a cousin out there,
Okay,
Melissa.
okay,
She lived out there, and so we
okay,
would hang out with her.
okay.
Um, but yeah,
And at this point, church is still not in the picture for you
right.
guys.
Like not even thought of at
Not even
this
thought
point.
of.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, you said y'all lasted a year. What happened?
about. I think we just got homesick. Probably me more than Claude. Um, I didn't know very many people yet
Hmm.
out there. And so I had friends that would go visit, and I think I just missed being around my people.
Yeah.
And so,
So was it like Claude came home one day and you're like, I'm done. Ready to
yeah,
go home?
yeah, I think so.
And
And
did
I
she tell you to
remember our
suck it up?
cousin, I remember our cousin would say, like, you got to get through the year. Like, the year is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And, um, yeah, we didn't listen.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was probably more me than Claude, for sure.
Okay. So y'all moved back to Midland.
Yeah.
What year is this? You graduated in 11.
Yeah.
So you spent a year in Dallas. So it's 2012.
I was probably back by 2012.
Yeah. And by the time you came back, 2012, I wasn't in Midland yet, but the oil field was on the up and up.
Yeah. A boom, probably.
A boom was happening.
Yeah.
Did it feel different coming back home?
No.
No, it's still Midland.
Yeah.
And now this is where we kind of start getting into the meats and bones of your story of like what I think solidifies you as the great person that you are today. And many people I think would agree, like you got to go through some crap
Right.
to become the people who that we are. And though we may regret some things, we understand it's shaped who we are.
Yeah.
And I can tell you're already getting emotional about this. And so I want to navigate this carefully. But you get into a relationship. And how long into that relationship do you realize, or take us to the moment that you find out you're pregnant? You're not married, but you're in a relationship.
Right.
And you find out you're pregnant.
Yes.
How old were you?
I was 21.
21. Okay, so
Yeah.
you were here a couple years.
Yeah.
Here a couple years, you find out you're pregnant
Yeah. By
to
this
a guy that
point,
you're
I
not
even
married to.
had
Yeah, what
a
are you
really
working
good
at?
job. I had a friend that connected me with a lawyer in town and got hired on the spot. And so, I mean, I had a good job
Yeah.
by then.
It was the law firm next to
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And you started working there at 19, 20?
Yeah, I was probably like 19 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got in the doors there,
Yeah.
working a great job,
Yeah.
back at home with mom and dad.
Yeah.
And then you get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Find out you're pregnant.
Yes.
tell us the emotions that came with that.
Obviously, fear. I think I was like, I knew I was going to be a good mom, so that never was a fear of mine, like
Yeah.
not
Because
being
you had your mom exemplify what a good mom
right,
was.
right. Um, I was really scared to tell my parents,
Yeah.
and I, yeah, it was just like fear. I think was the main part
Yeah.
of it. I don't think, like it was almost surreal. Like this is actually happening.
Yeah.
Um,
I can imagine.
yeah.
And then months go by. At this time, are you living at home or you're not living at home?
Yes, I'm living at home.
You're living at home.
Yeah.
And this is where our beautiful baby, Kinley Janelle, comes into the picture.
Yes.
She's born December 13th of 2013.
Yes.
And tell us about how that changed your life forever.
Kinley, I mean, we grew up together,
Yeah.
obviously, because I was still young. But it was just like, I'm living for her.
Yeah. I want to get you some tissue, babe.
This is why I don't want to do podcasts because.
No, I'm going off. Here we go. This is good. I think people are going to appreciate. It's just going to make them appreciate you so much more because people already appreciate you. Kinley comes into the picture and you're growing up with her. She, like, y'all are living in your parents' home.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yesterday, we took some things over to your mom's house and we put it in your old bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing pictures of baby Kinley and, like,
Yeah.
because it's not too long after this that we meet.
Right.
But I don't want to get to there too fast. I remember, and I don't want to tell the story for you, but this is when God starts working in your life. Now that you look back,
Yes.
and even not just your life, but really like in your family, like really the entirety of your family.
Yeah.
Tell us about the night, because I remember asking you this one time where, well, no. What took place first was a sister inviting you to church.
Well, I remember, I think it was a New Year's Eve. Kinley had just turned 1, so 2014. And,
Relationship didn't work out.
right.
So no longer in this relationship.
Obviously.
You're a single. Yeah. Well, I'm just to clarify for the really in that time
Yeah.
and place, like it didn't work out. So now you're quote unquote really operating as a single mom.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were a single mom.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind and your heart? Like, did you ever think you would be a single mom?
No. My sisters were single moms, and I kind of always swore that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
That I wouldn't be one, and
Okay.
so
You wanted
Right.
to learn.
right.
Yeah.
We grew up in a 2-parent household, and so I just didn't see that being part of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're in there. Now you're in there. What is it?
Yes.
What, like, did you feel like your world come crumbling down and you felt like a failure? Or did it cause you to rise up and like, okay, here we go?
I think a little of both. Like, obviously, when it happens, all these thoughts, like, I
Yeah.
failed. I'm failing my kid. You care what people think, things like that. But then also, I was like, okay, time to buckle down and handle business, take care of your daughter, and make sure she has the best life. And
For sure.
I think I did that.
Yeah. I think you did too. And obviously the people around you weren't going to let you quote unquote fail.
Right.
Like,
Had the best support system.
yeah. If you were spoiled, Kinley was like 10
He was.
times spoiled.
Yeah.
And so,
So Kinley was like the grandkid. My nephew Liam's a year younger than her, but she was kind of like the baby at the time, the only baby
yeah.
when she was born.
Okay.
And so, yeah, she was very spoiled.
And then living at,
Mom, yeah.
who we call Mommy and Poppy's
Yeah.
house, like she was around them all the time.
Yeah.
And we got some funny stories that'll come with that. But so now, like, you're still working your job though. Like, you never let that go.
No, if any, I got promoted, different positions, raises, and so it just was a good job that helped provide for her
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah. You were a businesswoman. I remember. And now someone's going to church.
So I remember Kinley had turned 1. It was about 2014, the end of it, New Year's Eve, and I remember having a moment where I was like, Kinley, I need to teach her.
Yeah.
Like I said, we didn't grow up in church, and so relationships, things like that just weren't really talked about at home.
Yeah.
Boundaries, like, and so I was like, I've got to teach her. And I remember talking to my sister Claudia, and at that point, I'm not sure if she had already visited a church or was like thinking about it.
Yeah.
And only church we knew was Catholic, but we knew we wanted to try something different.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, let's go to this church. And so we did. We started going
Yeah. So
that
that
following year, so beginning of 2015.
just you two or
At first, it was just Claude and I.
yeah.
And which I think, honestly, Bud may have been a lot of it. Bud had started going to church.
Okay.
And so he may, I'm pretty sure he's the one that kind of planted that seed with
Yeah.
Claude.
It's amazing how
then-
God uses our kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I haven't yet, but shout out to my, not just my in-laws, but my brother-in-law and my sister-in-laws who I'm really close to. Like,
Yeah.
I love them. They're like my sisters. Like, even they don't realize, and they've played a role in our church
Yeah.
up until this point, massive roles. Not like, oh, we're cheering you on. Like,
Yeah.
they've got blood, sweat, and
Hands-on.
tears.
Yeah, just as much as we do
finances,
probably,
like
yeah.
everything that you could imagine.
Yeah.
And so, shout out. I love you. Thankful for you. So now you're going to church, and you didn't want to try the Catholic church, so you went to a non-denominational church, and y'all decided to go try a church here in Midland. This is about 2014.
Yes.
2014, you start consistently going to church.
I would say I started, but there was times where I would fall off a little bit.
Okay.
Sundays were easy, but midweek was hard
Yeah.
for me. And then, I would get in these moods where I was like all in, and then
What was old tendencies still there? It was just
No.
like you were just tired because you were being mom?
yeah. And honestly, it was different.
Yeah.
So there were some things that I was like, well, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so I was learning it.
Yeah.
I was learning church.
That's true because you were never.
Yeah.
And now here's the good stuff. 2015 gets into the picture, and this guy gets brought onto stage. No, all joking aside, 2015 comes along. Are y'all serving yet?
No.
So you're not even.
Vicky was serving at that point.
Vicky was serving.
Yeah.
Okay.
She eventually started coming, her and Tony. And she actually got plugged in before we did.
Okay. Shout out Vicky and Tony.
Yeah.
One of the OGs of Real Church. Not serving.
No.
So you weren't
that
serving
point-
when.
No.
Okay. This reveals so much, and I'm going to get into that church. All right, so 2015 happens. I moved to Midland. I get here. I actually visit. I visited December of 2014. Were you here then?
Yes, because that's whenever you were wearing.
Well,
this.
they didn't bring me on stage at that
Okay.
point. No. They didn't bring me on stage. I was just visiting.
Okay.
And then I think
No, maybe not. I probably didn't start till after the new year.
Okay.
So yeah, like January.
I came back
15.
when I took the position at the church as the children's pastor.
Which at that point I was going more consistently.
Correct. Y'all were consistent in church. At this point, would you say that's when you gave your life to the Lord?
Yes.
Yeah, you were. I remember you saying, like, it was kind of that moment where
Yeah.
you're on your bed with Kinley and you're like,
Yeah.
something's got to change, God.
Yeah.
Like, you had this
Yeah.
moment with the Lord.
Yeah.
And I love that you did. I never want to, like, I think people's stories are so unique. And God, the way God works, it's not always in the church. Like,
Yeah.
he used your kid and he used And it was just this intimate moment in your bedroom where you were like, which is crazy. I never put these two together, but I didn't get saved in a church when I was 15. And so it was by myself. And so I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. I take the position, tell the people now, this is really funny. We always joke about this. They bring me on stage.
Yes.
I'm at that, it's 2015. That's almost 10 years ago.
That's wild.
That's crazy that I've been in Midland
Yeah.
for almost 10 years. And so that means I was like 23. You're 20. No, I was 24 probably.
So I was probably like 23.
You're 23. So
Yeah.
we're still young.
Yeah.
I walk up on stage in these. I'm gonna say it before you do.
I've got to say it.
Okay, go for it. I walk up on stage.
Right. And, they introduced you. They talked about you being single. And I remember so clearly Claude, elbowed me. And I looked at her, and I remember looking at you, and I was like, no. Look at his pants. His pants are so ugly. They were like bell bottoms. And then you had these pointy black shoes on. And I was like, yeah, no.
If I can find a picture, I'm gonna ask Ace to put that picture.
Yeah. It was, and I remember
I
was
had
just
them church shoes on.
I don't.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. But that's pretty good. That the worst thing you could find about me was my pants.
Your outfit was not it.
My outfit
you can
wasn't
tell I
it.
dress you now.
You can tell that my wife has.
You were dressing yourself at that point.
I wasn't a cuh. So I wasn't your typical Midland guy. But anyway, so Claude elbows you like, hey.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, his pants are ugly. And, I thank the church for being there. At that time, that church had just gotten up and going. I think it was about a year, 2.5 that I got there. And so the church was growing. Like the church was really doing great things. And they needed to really vamp up the children's ministry. And that's why I got hired and I come to help and just kind of be a part of that. And then I announced like, hey, I need help. I need help. And you were like, and his pants are ugly, but he's still kind of cute. I'm going to help him. Which Vicky was already.
That's your version.
And so you and Claude sign up to help, though.
Yes.
Y'all both jump in.
Yeah.
And
because at that point, Vicky was helping in children's ministry.
Yeah.
And so she she loved it. And so we liked kids.
Yeah. And so now we get into where I shot my shot.
Our story.
I shot my shot.
On Snapchat.
I don't know how she got my snap.
No, you added me after you got my number.
How did I get your number? Through the church database? Oh, that's bad.
No, I think you asked me for it.
Okay, like a man.
Not, you used scheduling as an excuse or something. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because Planning Center wasn't a thing then. It wasn't what it is today. So I'm trying to get all my volunteers in line. And so we start snapping each other. We start texting each other. And this is when I meet Kinley, too.
Yeah, you met her at the church.
Because I met her.
Around.
I'd meet her at the church. At this point, she's almost 2. Yeah, she's almost 2 years old.
Yeah.
She's so cute. And we gotta. She hated me.
Yeah,
she was terrified of me. Like I'd come around and I don't know if you remember the commercials.
She knew your intentions.
She was like that Doritos kid. Like don't talk to my mama kind of. But I did my best to like.
You did. I remember for her second birthday, you like brought Barbies and watches. She was like into watches.
Yeah, I remember that. I met your mom.
Yeah, you met up with me
at the Stripes gas station on Andrews Highway.
Yep, corner of Midland Drive and Andrews.
That's right.
And you gave me all her gifts.
But we went too fast.
Okay.
We went on a date.
Prior to that, yes.
Yeah, we went on a date. I asked you, hey, I'd love to take you to dinner.
Right.
We went, brought you some flowers. I picked you up at Claude's house.
Yeah.
Bought Kinley a flower.
A rose.
I bought her a rose. So I'm winning. I'm just killing it. I'm crushing it. And I pick you up. You look great. We go to Luigi's. Mm-hmm. And tell the people, like, you're on a date. Like, And this is just because it's just part of the story. You're on a date with one of the pastors of the church.
Yeah.
How was that for you? You go from not being in church to you're on a date with a pastor. Like,
It was weird. I think I went through a lot of emotions. I think there was like, oh, am I good enough for this guy? He's a pastor. And
yeah,
then there was also like excitement because obviously I thought you were a great guy.
yeah.
And then
Despite the pants.
by then you were wearing better pants.
Okay. I was, because
Yeah.
I had lost some weight and I was
Yeah.
like, I got a new wardrobe.
And then I don't know. I think I've always been kind of a walls up kind of girl.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't let myself get too excited about things.
Okay.
And so by then it was,
What did your parents, because at this point you're telling them you're going on a date,
yeah.
and surely they're like, oh, who are you going on a date
Yeah.
with? And did they know I was a pastor at the time?
More than likely. I don't remember. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure my sisters were like,
Yeah.
El pastor,
Yeah.
kind of.
And at this time, because you had those thoughts, and then I had my own.
Yeah.
But at that time, my sister was a single mom, and so like this wasn't weird to me. This wasn't like I had my nephew at that time, and
Yeah.
I freaking love that dude, you
Yeah.
know, and my prayer was always, man, God, send my sister a man that'll take care of her and Corbin.
Yeah.
I remember going back home. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I remember going back home for a weekend to go watch Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the car. We took Corbin to practice. And I looked at, it was just me and my mom. And I said, I'm going on a date, Mom. And she like looked at me. And because by this time I was in Midland for
I don't know. I think
maybe
you went
close to a year.
So you went before we went on a date?
Yeah. We went,
Okay. You went
and,
home.
and she kind of looked at me. She's like, oh, yeah, well, tell me about this girl. And so I pulled your picture up on Facebook and I'm showing her. And I tell her that you have a kid. And that shocked my mom about me. And you know, knowing my mom, you can just imagine her reaction, like
Yeah.
how excited she was
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we go on the date. The date was wonderful. Luigi's was great, but it was so early on in me moving to Midland. I don't know if it was fear. I don't know if it was excuses, but I said, "Hey, like I need to focus on my job
Yeah.
because the date went great."
Yeah. But I would say both of us weren't looking for anything serious at
That's
the time.
true. You were again. Your career was going great,
Yeah.
but we remained friends.
Yeah.
And
this is where everyone says we were.
yeah, and all
actually-
of our friends were like, "Oh, friends," and
Y'all are dating. Y'all
yeah,
are
yeah.
dating. Yeah.
And this went on for 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
Was it that long?
So if you moved here 15,
We got married in
17.
17. I was thinking 18.
No.
17.
We had Riel in 18.
That's right. So maybe about a year. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
year
about a
and a half,
year.
maybe.
About a year.
Yeah.
And did you like after the date? What like do you remember?
I don't remember. I mean, I think I enjoyed it. But like I said, I was always like a walls up kind of girl. And
Yeah.
so unless I had a very clear understanding, like I was not going to be excited or like
Yeah.
get my hopes up about anything.
Yeah. Especially cuz Kinley was in the picture.
Right. And I was doing it to protect her.
For sure. Do you remember again cuz it's the whole dynamic of you weren't even in church, now you went on a date with a pastor. Do you remember like after that date like, "Oh, he's not weird."
Right. Yes, because I think there's a perspective of pastors, like they've got their lives together. They're perfect. They don't do anything
Yeah.
that normal people do. And
They
so
walk around holy all the
right.
time.
And so getting to know you, I was like, oh, he's a person. Like he's
Yeah.
not.
It's funny. Pastor Ace was driving with me yesterday. He goes, "Sometimes I forget you're just a dude." And I was like, "Come on, bro. You've been working here." But okay, so you left like, "Oh, he's a normal guy."
Yeah,
Like, okay.
yeah.
And then
Honestly, I probably went in it kind of like, okay, don't be weird. Like, are we going to pray before we eat? What are we going to do?
I should have laid hands on you. um, and so we continue our friendship.
Yeah.
And also, like, I remember still working really hard to win Kinley's approval.
Yeah, even when we were just friends.
So because I remember Christmas rolls around and I wanted to take y'all to go see
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. And as friends, I think I went and got her Starbucks. Did I get her Starbucks?
We went to Starbucks.
Got her, yeah. But at that time, I knew, guys, I was killing it. I went and bought her a car seat.
No.
Yes, I did.
Not until we started dating.
Oh, I thought I bought her. You moved your car seat. No, I bought her the car seat.
Not until we started dating, because that's whenever I was like, okay, he's for real.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was that night.
No.
We just moved hers over to my truck.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so we went and looked at Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That was the first date for the three of us.
Yeah. It wasn't a date. We were hanging out.
Yeah, whatever. Were you nervous to take Kinley that night? Do you remember?
Yeah. I think I always told myself that I would not bring just anyone around her. So, yeah.
But it went great. It was a fun night.
Yeah.
I remember we went to Odessa to look at the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It was good. At this point, I had already met your mom and dad.
Maybe. I mean, you knew my sisters for sure.
Yeah, because at church.
Right.
But your parents, I had met because maybe it was that night actually
Maybe.
that I was taking the both of you.
Yeah.
And do you remember what your parents were thinking at that time?
Probably same as me. Just how should I say it?
They judged me.
No, I think they were just kind of on high alert to like, what are the intentions?
Okay.
They were protective of us.
Yeah. Of Kinley.
Of Kinley. They cared
You're
about me
grown at
too.
this
They cared
point.
about me too.
So, all right, now we can fast forward a little bit. I know we hung out there for a bit.
Okay.
You're going to church. Now you're serving.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not dating.
No.
But
Well, serving a lot.
your
working
relationship with the Lord was growing.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Like, tell us, like, just early on, learning church, learning how to pray, learning, like, what were the early stages of that for you?
I can't even remember. It was very different, obviously.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was learning things. There were some things that I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Kind of having an open mind about not going into it closed off. And so just learning that praying was normal.
Yeah.
Learning that seeking the Lord was normal during, because I can probably say that there was times that even like as a single mom, I never sought the Lord for wisdom or guidance and so just learning how to do that. And even tithing was a thing. Like I kind of
do you remember giving money?
Probably like
no
$20 here and there.
Okay. You were a tipper.
I was a tipper. I was.
Now she's a faithful tither. But so this is so cool. Single mom, new to church, serving in the church, learning how to pray, and then going to the kids' classrooms and teaching the Bible to kids.
Yeah. And that's probably where I learned more of the Bible was teaching the kids. And it was simple, yet the Bible.
Yeah.
You know?
And then but I remember because not only that, you're teaching Kinley how to pray because Kinley learned how to pray.
Yeah.
I remember some videos and Snapchats of Kinley. At this point, Kinley is growing on me. Like, I'm growing on her.
Right.
I'm growing on her. I love her. But she's learning to love me, and I'm buying her Woody. And I remember in the church, she gave me her Woody, which was a really big deal.
That's when you knew she liked you.
That's how I knew she liked me. And fast forward, now it's 2017. I buy a house, and I've shared this with my story too. Like, I had come out of something where I told myself, I'm not even going to entertain date a girl, unless I know she's going to be my wife. Mm-hmm. I buy a house, busted home, not like a beautiful home in
It
Midland.
was a
It
good
was
house.
that thing was busted, and you had to. I always forget this part of the story. What
Oh,
do you
you
call it?
picked me up from work because you needed a notary to
Yeah,
notarize some documents because I guess the notary for the title company was out or something. And
that's
so
right.
I remember you picked me up from the law firm and you were
Yeah,
like, I just need you to notarize something really quick.
yeah.
And I went with you to finalize your
The purchase
purchase.
of the home,
Yeah.
which at this point you knew the home. Like you and Kinley have come and hang. Y'all hung out at the home.
I don't know if Kinley ever did.
That's right. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then I asked you once I purchased the home. I start painting. I start trying to do little up things. And before I painted, though, I said, "Hey, I want you to come over and look at these two paints."
Yeah.
And during I want to say it was your lunch break.
I don't remember. Maybe.
I want to say it was your lunch break. You came and I said, "Hey, which color do you like?" And you picked the color that whatever we ended up painting it. And then you're walking, you're leaving, and that's when I was like, "Hey, like, I'm ready to take this." It wasn't. I don't remember it being awkward. I just remember like, "Hey, like,"
Yeah.
because that's always been my personality. Like, I know what I want,
Yeah.
and when I want it, I'm gonna go after it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm ready to go to the next step, next level. If you're ready,
Yeah.
and I'd like for you to be my girlfriend." And you said yes.
Yeah.
You said heck yeah. No, I don't know. I don't remember. But and then you gave me a wet one. You planted one on me, and then you went back to work.
Yeah.
Do you remember that day?
I do. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like, who did you call? Who was your first phone call?
I don't
Was it
remember.
Claude? It's probably Claude.
Probably Claude. I probably went and processed a little too.
Yeah. Like, what did I just say yes to?
Yeah. Because same with me. I kind of was like, I'm not gonna date, like, bring anyone around Kinley or be serious unless I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when. You know
We
that
started
date.
dating in May of
May.
17.
May of 17. And
Yeah.
this is
Because
where.
that's kind of like when we went public. I think it was around Mother's Day because you bought me. My sister was making cupcake bouquets. You remember?
No. Vicky was making them?
Yeah, and you bought one from her and gave it to me for Mother's Day, and then that's when it was like official, even to the church. It was
Well, I had game.
come sit in the front row with me.
You came and sat in the front row with me?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
after,
dang.
and that was
That was a big
weird.
deal.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was weird for
it
you.
was. It was.
You went from like nobody.
I was like up at the back.
Yeah, you were a back row Baptist kind of.
Yeah, and then to being front row and
Eyes
yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Did you feel pressure?
Yeah, because then it's like, I think it's because I saw how people viewed pastors.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you knew the pastors, you were
Yeah.
in, and
Yeah.
you were cool, and almost in an unhealthy way, you know?
Okay. And this gets interesting though. Tell me, at this point, you saying yes to us dating. Obviously, you and I both were in a stage of our life where like, if I'm gonna date, like it's gonna be
Yeah,
in the pursuit of marriage.
right.
Thinking I could be a pastor's wife if
Yeah.
I like take this seriously.
Yeah,
Do you remember that coming into your thoughts?
probably. And also, like, pastors' wives, like, they're singing, they're playing piano, they're doing all these things, and I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's like a pressure.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that pressure's still there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And until you're in it, people don't understand it. But all right, we're dating in April of 17. May of 17. May, April, May.
June or
June?
July, maybe.
Yeah. By that time, obviously, me asking, knowing that I wanted to marry the girl that I dated.
Well, remember you told me you loved me in your office?
Oh, yeah, we got to tell this story. So we're in my office. It's after church service. We're planning on where to go eat.
Yeah.
And at this point, I hadn't told her I loved her.
Yeah, we hadn't.
And she's like, I don't even remember. She's like, okay, well, we'll meet you there. Da, 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 da. and I'm putting up my stuff, and you're like walking out. You give me a kiss. You're walking out, and I was like, all right, I love you. I'll see you in a second. And I remember, I think I was turned the other way
Yeah.
and like bent over, and I was like, I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. And then I turned and looked at you, probably expecting to hear it back. Tell the people what you did.
I said, okay, see you later. And
She
walked
didn't
out.
say it back. She said, okay, see you later. I put my heart on the table, and she didn't say it back.
So I think at that point is when we started getting a little more serious.
Yeah. And I don't remember, honestly, I remember me saying it and reacting like, I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
And I think I was so in shock that I said it
Yeah.
that I don't even remember you not saying it in the moment. And so I don't even know how,
You felt after that.
yeah. So fast forward two months, I remember contacting your sisters. Honestly, I don't even remember what was going on in my brain. It was like, all right, yeah, like let's just go for it, And
try it
I
out.
said, hey, I need your help. And and they're like, yeah, what do you need? And I said, I want to ask your sister to marry me. And your sisters were excited. They were a big help. And I said, the first thing I need you to do is set up a meeting with your mom and dad so that I
Yeah.
can come and ask for your hand in marriage. And so at this point, you met my family.
Yeah, your parents came down.
Yeah, you met
The
them.
80.
You met my sister.
And that's the first time they met Kinley too, remember?
Yeah.
And they brought, like, at that time she was into trolls.
Yeah.
And they just
Flooded her with love.
flooded her with all the trolls toys, and
Yeah.
they were just so loving.
Yeah. Which again, I think
welcoming.
helps solidify in your heart, like this family.
Yeah.
It's for real.
Yeah.
So I remember going to your parents' house. I remember going and buying the ring.
Okay.
I remember going to your parents' house. I'm a no sabo kid. Your parents only speak Spanish. If you don't know what that is, it means it's a Hispanic kid who's not great at Spanish. And I'm like,
doesn't know
I
Spanish?
remember being on the phone with my it was either my dad or my mom, like asking them how to say it in Spanish. Because I was like, they're going to tell me no because I don't know how to speak Spanish. And they want a son-in-law that can speak Spanish. And so I do remember getting my way through it. And like, I'm sure I used Google Translate at that time. And both your parents were just like absolutely,
Yeah.
as long as you love her and Kinley, take care of them. They were all for it and excited. And so took you on this date, had this huge proposal
Yeah.
plan. You had no clue.
No idea.
I do
I
remember.
remember my mom being like, "That's what you're gonna wear today." Like, we were planning a date. Like
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
gonna take me on a date, and you took me back to Luigi's.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom like, "Why are you wearing shorts?" And I kind of was like, "Why not?" And now I know she was just wanting me to look nice for
Yeah.
my engagement.
Blindfolded you, took you to the
Yeah.
park off of Midkiff in the middle of town, pull up, and I had convinced you we were playing a game. I actually can't believe you bought it. It was kind of corny.
It was looking back.
But you still had no clue.
No.
No clue. And then we get there, I unblindfold you, and all of our friends and family are standing around.
Yeah.
Music's going. It actually went viral on Facebook. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I ask you to marry me. You say yes. But then I invite Kinley. I get on a knee for her
Yeah.
and ask Kinley. I had bought her a ring necklace from James Avery. I remember it.
Yeah.
And she says yes, and we're excited. The wedding planning starts happening, and I tell you, hey, like, I'm not trying to have a year engagement. Like, I
Right.
want to get married.
Yeah.
The Bible says not to burn with lust and to get married, and so I knew we needed to get married. At this point, now you're like, I'm going to be a pastor's wife.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that clicked?
Probably not until we actually
Got married.
got married. Yeah.
Because it happened so fast.
It did. We dated, got engaged, and married within 6 months.
That's crazy. That's wild.
People would say we dated longer, but
Yeah. Officially.
officially.
Officially. So then we plan the wedding. We get married in November. November 4th is our anniversary.
Yeah.
This year we're going on 8
Yeah.
years. We're going to celebrate 8 years together. Beautiful wedding. It was amazing. Like we had,
I mean,
yeah, on a beautiful,
affordable wedding
affordable,
on a budget.
budgetable
Yeah.
wedding. I don't want to get into like all the honeymoon story is hilarious. If you don't know the honeymoon story, come and ask us. But at that point, I had like redid Kinley's room, like bought
Yeah,
her a
she had her own
bed, like
room.
so because we did not move. You moved in the night of our wedding.
Yeah.
Kinley didn't, only because we were leaving for our honeymoon the
Yeah.
next morning, and so we go on our honeymoon. We get back, and this is where life begins for us.
Yeah. It was a lot of adjustment for Kinley too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was just her and I.
Yeah, at this
for a
point,
long time.
she was 3.
Yes, we got married when she was 3.
Yeah,
So she was 3. Like, she probably slept with me
yeah.
that whole time, and so
Good thing the
it's
house
like-
we were in was so small. Like I could high five her in her room.
yeah, we were like really close. So, just learning to have her own room and share mom, I think.
Yeah, that was a big adjustment for her.
Yeah,
But she did it so great.
she did. She did. She's always been just so loving, and she handled it well.
Yeah. You, at this point, I had become like the youth pastor, and so like people are like looking at you now. Like young girls are looking at you,
Yeah, it was
teenage
kinda
girls.
Like, okay, now you're
Now you're
he's-
not just a
he's
mom.
not just a children's pastor.
Yeah.
Now he's a youth pastor, and now you have these obligations too.
Yeah.
Like you're sharing
Yeah.
obligations in a sense.
Do you remember like young girls looking at you as a role model, as somebody? Because
I mean,
the
nobody.
kids loved our family.
Yeah. I mean, Briella was a youth baby,
Yeah.
walking around youth.
Yeah.
Youth kids were holding her while you were preaching, and
Yeah.
that was a big part of our life. I think at that point we were going to youth kids games.
Yeah. Your learning ministry.
I'm learning ministry at that point.
Yeah.
Still working.
And working
Yeah.
full time.
Full time, and just trying to balance all the things.
Yeah.
And so obviously my job, my weekends were Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Your job, your weekends were Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And so even just learning how to balance.
Which I think was really good. Now that I look back, I don't know if I've ever thought about this, but that was a time where Kinley and I had a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Because you were working on Fridays.
Yeah.
I wasn't working on Fridays. And we would get to spend all Friday together.
Yeah.
And that's where our love for each other really grew. And
Yeah.
do you remember when she first called me dad? Were we married yet?
I don't think we were married yet when she did.
Yeah.
I think we were at a birthday party.
No, I'll never forget it. It was in
Okay.
your parents' home.
Okay.
She runs in. We were getting ready to go out somewhere. And I'm on the couch and she jumps on there and she's showing me something, maybe a doll. But I remember she just looks at me and she had the little squeaky voice and
Yeah.
she's like, "Will you be my dad?" And like I remember trying to hold it together and like, yeah, I would love to be your dad, you know. And I'll never forget that moment in your parents' home when she first asked me that, and
you were dad from the beginning.
yeah,
Like,
and
that's
so
how-
now like people like if you're not close to us, most people don't even.
No, we had people that she played sports with.
Yeah,
The Hardys.
for
I
years.
think were one that
Yeah,
I remember Judy being like, "What? I didn't even know he wasn't her biological dad."
yeah, and so at this point, your world in a year and a half, really from the time you got pregnant to the time you're married and you're a pastor's wife.
Yeah, like I didn't think I would ever get married, let alone to a pastor. Like
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah. Let's speak to that for a little bit. Speak to the single moms out there who hope to marry a man that'll care for her and her
Yeah.
child or children, like,
Yeah.
because there had to have been some thought of like, will a man love me and my kid?
Right. I think as a single mom, you love your kid so much that you can't imagine someone who isn't like,
Biologically.
yeah, loving them as much as you do, or accepting you, or like just a good solid man
Yeah.
accepting you. Because I think in the back of your mind there's something that's just telling you, like, who's gonna want you and a kid?
Yeah.
Like, that's not theirs. And
Yeah.
um yeah, so I think the enemy makes you believe that you're not good enough, nobody's gonna love you and your child, and nobody's gonna take you in and accept you for your in a package, like
Yeah.
your kid.
Yeah. Um, do you feel now, kind of looking back and how your life is being played out? I'm not going to say played out because we still have so much life to
Yeah.
live. If you were to like wrap it up in just words, if you could put words on it, what is like talking through all this like remind you of? What is it when it comes to God? Like,
Yeah. But
how do you speak to that?
one, it just speaks to God's grace, like, over our lives.
Yeah.
You're never too messed up or
Yeah.
dirty,
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Too far.
Yeah, too far. For His goodness, like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I look back at it, even if I think about just talking about it now, I would never have imagined to have the life that I have now.
Yeah.
We've built such a beautiful family
Yeah.
and life that I never thought.
Yeah. I remember getting married. Um, One thing, because you were already an incredible mom, like you were an incredible parent before I came into the picture. Like so many people were like, you deserve this. Like you deserve this. And I think it just spoke to the kind of person that you were. Like it wasn't becoming a pastor's wife that made you this incredible person. Like
No.
you were this incredible person. And that's why I wanted to marry you, because I saw that you were an incredible person. I saw that you were an incredible mom. And I was like, if I'm going to, have more children with this girl, like I know she's going to be an incredible mom to my children. And I just remember so many of your friends and so many people, because you grew up in Midland, like you
Yeah.
knew everybody. Like
Yeah.
not only that, you're related to half this dang town. Like that, they just kept saying, "You
Yeah.
deserve this. You deserve the happiness." And that what they were speaking to is just the person that you are. And I think any woman who is close to you can attest to this. And like just the friend, the mom, the wife, the pastor that you are, like you look at it when you're able to just sit down and slow down. You're like, man, look at what God has done in my life.
Yeah. And I think I've been able to see that more, like, the older I've gotten and life has slowed down, and like, it gives me the just a chance to sit back and look and be thankful, um, and also I just always want to encourage single moms. Like, anytime I get a chance to, I'm like, well, did you know I used to be a single mom? Because I want to instill hope in them,
Yeah.
and let them know that there is someone out there for them and their
Yeah.
kids, and so yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how long we've been recording, but this might take part two. If you could now leave the people watching, because it's not just single moms, it's people who might feel like they've been too far gone from the Lord. It might be
Right.
people who think they're too messed up, or if they've made decisions that is going to quote unquote affect in a negative way the rest of their life. What do you tell those people?
You're never too far gone. God has a plan for our lives,
Yeah.
and um, there's always like a happy ending.
Yeah.
Um, his promises
Yeah.
for our lives, you just lean on those and trust Him. And there's always going to be, like you say, the hard times and
Yeah.
the bad times, and um, but there's always the happy ending.
Yeah. Just trust in him.
Trust in Him,
Yeah.
and He'll get you through them.
Absolutely. Man, I told you it wasn't going to be that bad. You didn't have any more awkward laughs either.
Yeah,
They were genuine, like you love me laughs.
I do love you. I
uh,
just don't like to be front and center.
uh, well, hey, I thank you for coming on the podcast. And we're complete opposites in this. Like I can
Yeah,
talk forever,
yeah,
and 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 you can too, just not in front of a camera, in front of people. Maybe we'll get into the whole real church coming about because we went through some hard times together. It was like
yeah,
where we question, and even you individually, like I don't know if I want ministry. You know,
right.
even me, like I went through a time. I was like, I want to. When they heard that in my story, but you went through that too. Like, if this is what this feels like,
Yeah,
and
you
like
can have it. I don't
you
want
can
it.
have it, yeah.
Yeah,
And now, like looking back, I think we both say like we love our church. We
yeah,
love the people of Real Church,
yeah,
and we're humbled and we're honored to lead the church that we lead. Like God's done incredible things in us and through us.
yeah,
It's so humbling,
yeah.
and we're just going to continue together to point our city to Jesus. But I just want you to know I'm proud of you. I'm honored that you're my wife. There's you're the classiest, most fun. Like I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else, and I'm so thankful that God sent you, and at that time Kinley into my life, and now we have Briella and Legend, and man, our family. Like I love our family. I love you. You're the best wife. You're the best mom. Like literally, you. I don't know how you do it. Because I'm not the greatest at it,
You're
but
really great.
you just make us go. You make us go. You make sure we're taken care of. You make sure that your family is loved well, and you do it better than anybody that I know. And so I love you, and
I love you.
I'm gonna give you a kiss on camera. So close your eyes. All right, y'all. Well, you got it. There it is. Was it as bad as you thought it was gonna be?
I
Do it again? No?
I would do it again.
Okay.
I would
All
do
right.
that.
Before you know it, you're going to be sitting here with women interviewing them.
Probably not.
Well, guys, this is our heart. Like our heart is for Until Midland Loves Jesus.
Yeah.
And we're just thankful that our stories are a part of this story of Until Midland Loves Jesus. And so, man, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this blessed you. I hope this gives some of you hope. I hope it encourages you. Know that the word is true, and it says that when He starts a work, He's faithful to finish it. And we're witnesses to that in our own personal lives. And so, man, let's just continue to point real people to a real Jesus with a real love until Midland loves Jesus. I hope you're excited for this new season. What a way to kick off season 2. Comment down below your favorite part of the story. Tell her how incredible she was. Thank her. Just blast her in the
I was
comments
trying
with
to
the
think of
love.
all the excuses to come up with not to come.
Yeah, she's had a lot of
I
them.
was like, I have
She's
laundry to do.
Pastor A. Shout out to him because he's the one that's been pressing her.
He has
And
been.
but we're excited for you guys to watch this. We love you guys. If you want to be a part, man, of our heart to Until Midland Loves Jesus, man, comment, subscribe, share this on your Facebook, your Instagram, and man, we just want to get real stories out into front of people. And that's just a way that you can help. And then maybe you'll be a guest on here and share your story because we believe that every story is valuable and it plays a role in what God's doing in and through the church and through His people. So, hey, we love you guys. Until Midland loves Jesus. We'll see you later.